What's going on, guys? Bob Buskirk here at ThinkComputers, and today we have a new case from Be Quiet. This is their Silent Base 600, which of course is a step down from their flagship Silent Base 800 case. So let's go ahead and take a look. Taking a first look at the case here, you can see the orange accents on both sides here. And there's actually three different versions of the case. So this is the black and orange, and there's black on black, and then there's black with white. We also received the window version of the case. There is another version that's non-window. So you actually have total of 6 different SKUs or 6 different model numbers. 3 obviously non-window and 3 with the window here. So we're gonna start at the front, and we'll move it so you guys can get a better look. So all flush front here, and we actually have a door here that opens up. And it's kind of hard to see in the video, but on the inside of the door here, you have sound dampening material to keep things nice and quiet inside. Over here, you have 3 5¼ drive bays, and you have this small little fan controller. And this has 3 different speed modes, of course, up and down. So you can, slow the fans down and you can speed them up. And I believe the fans that come included are already connected to this, so you don't have to worry about if it's like a first-time build or something. You don't have to worry about connecting them, so they are already connected here. Moving down, behind here is a 140mm fan that is included with the case. And with that, you do have this little, if I can probably take it all the way out, we have a fan filter here. So just makes it easy that you can go ahead and clean the filter out, and then just as easily here, slide it right back down in, and of course, close the door. At the top front part of the case is where you're gonna of course find all of your connections and power button and all of that stuff. So starting out here, you have 2 USB 2.0 ports, headphone, microphone, 2 USB 3.0 ports. You have your hard drive activity LED and a very large power button here. And this will also light up when you do have power on to the system. Moving back, we do have some ventilation as well. As I said, we received the windowed version of the case. So we have a very large side panel window here. And this window is pretty much going to show off everything that's inside of your case. It's big enough that you can see the power supply, all of your hard drives, even your optical drives, motherboard obviously, and everything like that. You can see that ours has the orange trim because we did receive the orange version of the case. Of course, if you receive the black, it would have the black accent. And of course, if you receive the white, you would have a white accent around there. Looking at the rear of the case, we have a 120mm exhaust fan that does come with the case, and that's the only placement that you have. So if you wanted to maybe upgrade to a 140, there's not enough room for that back there. Below that, we have 3 water cooling holes or water cooling routing holes. You can use this for other stuff too. Say if you have a cable that needs to be routed from the inside to the outside of the case or something like that, you can obviously use those holes for that. Of course, you have your expansion slots with some ventilation right here, and you have your power supply, which is going to be mounted on the bottom. With that, we have a pull-out filter here, which should pull out like that. A nice big pull-out filter. I'll take it completely out so you guys can see it. Nice big pull-out filter here, and that's going to go along the entire bottom of the case. Moving inside and starting at the front of the case, we have our 3 5¼ drive bays, and these use a toolless locking system. And I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of the toolless locking system, so if you don't want to use it, they do have the screw holes here, so you can go ahead and use screws if you want. Moving down, we have our hard drive cage, and this cage supports 3 3.5-inch hard drives, as well as a 2.5-inch hard drive, like an SSD or something like that, on the top. Now, for some reason, if you don't want to use this hard drive cage at all, or you just want to take it out for easier installation, you can actually remove it. Now, there's one screw that's on the back side of the case that I've already taken off, but these 2 thumb screws right here easily come out. And take the second one out here, and this should just slide right out, and you can see here we have our hard drive cage completely taken out, so we can throw our drives in, make it really easy, and then go ahead and slide it back in, or just like I said, keep it out of the way as you can see here. Maybe you can mount some water cooling or something like that down in here. You know, if you're not using it, you don't have to. So it's just completely out of the way. Now looking at the bottom of the case here, we have room for, of course, a full-size ATX power supply, and the entire bottom of the case is actually ventilated. So if you want to add an extra fan down here, you can go ahead and do that. Of course, we do have our 120 millimeter exhaust fan. Now all around the motherboard tray, you can go ahead and you can see all of the cable routing holes, and they do have the rubber inserts, and they're the orange which match the case, which I think is actually pretty cool. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have one up here, 5 for your CPU power, but that one, it does not have the rubber insert, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna rip or tear your cable as I look at it. We also have the very large CPU cutout here. So if you're gonna be installing an aftermarket CPU cooler, you can actually go ahead and install it without having to remove your motherboard from the case. On the top inside part of the case, you can see we actually have room for 2 more fans up top. So we have room for 2 120s or 2 140s. Now, if you want to get into the back side of the case, you have to remove the second side panel. And this side panel could have just been plain, you know, Be Quiet didn't have to do much, but they made this really cool logo here, their Be Quiet logo right here in the center. Now, if you get the non-windowed version of this case, this is what the actual other side panel would look like if it didn't have the window. So it's pretty cool that Be Quiet went ahead and did that. Now that I removed the second side panel, I can go ahead and take a look at the rest of the back of the case. And the first thing that I notice is we have 2 more 2.5-inch hard drive trays. And these trays are the ones that you've seen in a lot of other cases. And all you do is mount your SSD, and of course you can run your cabling to where it needs to be. It keeps the SSDs out of the way, especially since we have a window on this case. If you're only using SSDs, you can put them behind here so they're not on the way. And of course you can get that hard drive cage completely out of there if you want to make room for water cooling or whatever it may be. You can obviously see all of our cable routing holes. Now behind the motherboard tray, there is quite a lot of room, just under 1 inch of room behind the motherboard tray. So you should have no problem routing all of your cables and all of that kind of stuff, you know, and what need be. Obviously we have a very large CPU cut out as well. So very well designed case. It seems like it's going to be pretty easy to do our build inside. So this wraps things up for our quick overview of the Be Quiet Silent Base 600 case. Now make sure you check back very soon on thinkcomputers.org as we'll have our full written review. Until next time, catch you guys later.